cases.
The president will repeat much of what he said all summer, reminding the nation the vaccines will save lives, along with making sure schools and businesses protect the unvaccinated, including children not yet eligible for the shots. He'll discuss increased testing, protecting the economy, and improving care for those sick with the virus.
ABC's Andy Field with a preview from Washington, a major U.S. airline telling its employees to get vaccinated or face non-voluntary leave.
In a letter to its employees, United says its workers who were exempt from getting a COVID vaccine for religious reasons will be put on unpaid leave beginning October 2nd. Those who are medically exempt from getting it will be placed on medical leave. Their pay will depend on their contract and work group. They may not get paid. And if an employee at United has an exemption request denied and fails to get vaccinated within 5 weeks, they'll be terminated. Alex Stone, ABC News.
According to a U.S. official, 200 Americans and other foreigners on a charter flight are being allowed to leave Afghanistan, the new Taliban government having agreed to their departure. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in Kuwait warning the Taliban they must prevent al-Qaeda from forming within the country.
They have goals and aspirations. If they demonstrate that they're going to harbor terrorism in Afghanistan, all of that will be very, very difficult for them to achieve.
Tropical depression Mindy hitting the Florida panhandle last night.
2 to 4 inches of rain possible, which could lead to flash flooding. So flash flood watches remain in effect. Isolated tornadoes can't be ruled out.
That's ABC News meteorologist Melissa Griffin. The storm hitting southeast Georgia and the South Carolina coast. That as the death toll from the only recently passed Hurricane Ida reaches 82 people. You're listening to ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. But like any air filter, the more clogged up it gets, the less it works. So how do you clean your nose? I'm Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation. The neti pot's been around thousands of years. But I did invent Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage has over 70,000 online reviews averaging 4.7 stars because it works and it's easy to use. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Now available with eucalyptus for a spa-like experience. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Sources tell ABC News the Justice Department is expected to file a lawsuit soon challenging the new abortion ban in Texas. It virtually outlaws all abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Fencing that surrounded the Capitol after the January 6th riot is going back up. There are concerns about a rally planned in Washington for September 18th. In support of those arrested during the riot on January 6th, the U.S. Capitol Police also say all available officers will be on duty that weekend. Work continues today on the pedestal that once held a huge statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee in Richmond, Virginia. That statue taken down and hauled away yesterday. Crews are looking for a time capsule on the pedestal put there in 1887. The plan, replace it with a new one containing things like an expired COVID vaccine vial and a Black Lives Matter sticker. And still on the run in Maryland, several zebras that bolted from a farm a couple of days ago.
What a sight in a neighborhood of Prince George's County, Maryland, outside D.C.
I thought it was a deer for about 3 seconds, and then I noticed it was actually a zebra.
Sightings by Layla Curling and her neighbors that many couldn't believe. Multiple striped zebras trotting through their neighborhood, 5 out of 39 in all, recently delivered to a nearby farm and somehow escaping. But Layla's mom didn't buy it.
She said I was crazy and stuff.
And the zebras still haven't been caught. Authorities working on a plan to capture the wayward animals in a case that's black and white. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.com.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the wrist.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. We're seeing a mostly cloudy sky with some rain showers possible through your morning commute. A better chance of rain will be with us midday through the afternoon today as a cold front moves through the state. Some showers can be heavy at times, and our highs today will be in the upper 70s and near 80. Mostly clear sky this evening and overnight tonight. Sunshine back in the forecast for Friday with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Sunshine continues Saturday and Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. We're starting out a little cooler this morning than yesterday morning. We're 65 degrees right now, but we'll be warming up to about 83 if there is a potential chance of some afternoon showers. Wind will be gusting to about 17 miles per hour today. Rest of the weekend is looking mighty good. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Harold Dean Roberts Sr. died Monday, September the 6th at Deer Park in Nebo. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Friday, September the 10th at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church Cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Harold Dean Roberts. John H. Lightsey Jr. died September the 2nd. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of John H. Lightsey Jr. Linda Hawkins Emery, age 76, died Sunday, July 11th at Oak Grove Health Care. Memorials may be made to Oak Grove Health Care Activity Fund. The family will have a private memorial service in the Paget and King Chapel, and the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangement for Linda Hawkins Emery. Mark Von Curry, age 63, of Rutherford, passed away Monday, August 30th at Physical Rehab and Wellness Center of Spartanburg. There will be a gathering in memory of Mark at McMahon's Funeral Home from 1 until 3 Saturday, September the 18th. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Mark Von Curry. Lisa Ann Shelton, age 45, died Sunday, September the 5th. Funeral services will be 3 p.m. September the 13th, Monday, September the 13th, at Crow's Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Shiloh Baptist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 prior to the service. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Lisa Ann Shelton. Christine Smith Luckadoo, age 49 of Forest City, passed away Thursday, September the 2nd, at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 p.m. Saturday, September the 11th at Harrelson Funeral Home. A memorial service will be conducted at 2 o'clock on Monday, September 13th at the Church of the Exceptional. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Christine Smith Luckadoo. Susan Minor Keith, age 69 of Rutherford, passed away Saturday, September the 4th at her home. The memorial service celebrating her life will be Saturday, September the 11th at 2 o'clock at St. Francis Episcopal Church in Rutherford. Burial will be in the Memorial Garden at the church. Again, McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Susan Minor Keith. Camille Richard Francois, age 56, passed away Thursday, September the 2nd. The funeral service will be conducted at 1 o'clock Saturday, September the 11th at Spindale Fellowship Holiness Church. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Camille Richard Francois. Sean Holland, age 44 of Forest City, passed away Tuesday, August 28th. A memorial service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Sunday, September the 12th at Googe Creek Baptist Church. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services serving the family of Shane Holland. John Wayne Duke Wilkins died August 27th at Atrium Health, Cleveland and Shelby. Services will be private in Crow's Mortuaries assisting the family of John Wayne Duke Wilkins. Bobby D. Bright, age 53, of Rutherford, passed away Wednesday, September 1st, at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Calvary Baptist Church Cemetery in Rutherford. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Bobby D. Bright. Peggy McGinnis Walker of Spindale died September the 4th. A memorial service will be held 2 o'clock today at the Spencer Baptist Church. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service in the Family Life Center. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Peggy Welds. Peggy Jean Waters Barker, age 80, of Forest City, died Tuesday, September the 7th. Funeral service will be held Thursday, September the 9th, today, at 11 o'clock at Gooch Creek Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the Race Path Baptist Church Cemetery. The Paget and King Mortuary in charge of the arrangements for Peggy Jean Waters Barker. Bob Sellers, age 85, of Forest City, passed away Monday at Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. The funeral service will be conducted at 1 o'clock Friday, September the 10th, at Adaville Baptist Church. Private graveside service with military honors will be conducted at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Bob Sellers. Bill Thomason, age 60, of Forest City, passed away Thursday, August 26th, at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The funeral service will be conducted at 1 o'clock Friday, September the 10th, at Adaville Baptist Church. There will be no formal visitation. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Bill Thomason.
Series of public service announcements on TV about the following: the value of the traditional family, the scourge of drugs and alcohol, the scourge of compulsive gambling, the value of respecting the police. Do you think you'll see any of those public service ads paid for by the NFL? Really? Now this. For most folks, getting out of an unused timeshare is a top priority. With the bill always around the corner, it's like rolling the dice. Lone Star Transfer has helped thousands of people just like you and me for over a decade. They'll get you out of your timeshare quickly, legally, and ethically, guaranteed. For a free consultation, please go to LoneStarTransfer.com or call 855-551-7066. 855-551-7066. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning.
The music's on us. WCAB.
Being a teenager is tough.
There's the constant pressure to be liked.
Endless worrying about college.
Cyberbullying, high expectations, all the negativity.
There's no question. Being a teenager is tough. And what do North Carolina's teens do when they want to block out the noise and clear their heads?
We play!
Yeah! Research shows that teenagers who participate in high school sports have lower stress levels, more confidence, and greater self-esteem. And then there's the biggest benefit of all.
High school sports are fun.
Not just fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Encourage your teenagers to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school. They'll stress less and smile more. And they'll be laying the foundation for a happier, healthier future.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Wanhu Jans was born in 1823. He was an easygoing person, but as a young man, while the men were away, Mexicans attacked his village and killed the women and children, along with his mother, wife, and 3 of his own children. This instilled in him a hatred for Mexicans that lasted throughout his life. A year after the attack on his village, Wanhu Jans and other braves retaliated, killing several Mexicans. In this battle, he won his more popular Spanish name, Geronimo. Geronimo was never a chief and always deferred to his people's true chiefs. Usually having a group of braves numbering no more than 50 for decades, he succeeded in keeping settlers off Apache lands. Although Geronimo never used a firearm himself, he made sure his braves had the best available. They even used field glasses. Using his knowledge of the desert environment, he was able to evade the best the Army could send. By 1886, Geronimo was in his 60s, and the number of whites in the area kept growing. So on September 4, at Skeleton Canyon, Arizona, Geronimo surrendered to General Nelson A. Miles, becoming the last American Indian warrior to formally surrender to the Army. During the years of conflict, several times Geronimo had agreed to live on a reservation and later left it. This time his people were shipped to Florida. Later, the Army moved him to Oklahoma, where he became a celebrity. He even rode in President Theodore Roosevelt's inaugural parade in 1905. Geronimo died at the age of 86, a romantic symbol of the Wild West. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Put Jesse James Railroad Express on your lunch calendar. He has a menu chocked full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, or onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only. Hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
16 minutes after 7 o'clock on this tremendous Thursday morning, let's turn our attention now to the local news as we go to the phones and get started with our call around the county news. We stop at first at the Sheriff's Department, and Sheriff Chris Francis is on the phone with me right now. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. Hope you're doing well this morning.
I am doing well. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. Good to talk with you again on this waning week. We're finishing up another week already.
Hard to believe. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of football Friday night. Hopefully we won't have too many cancellations. Looking forward to a few games this weekend.
Yeah, me too. What's on the report today?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 185 calls for service. There have been 20 arrests processed in the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 218. Among those arrested, Seth Brendan Green, a 20-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to appear and received a $10,000 secure bond. Brandy Nicole McCombs, a 31-year-old female, was charged with injury to property and received a $2,000 unsecured bond. Justin Keith Lowry, 35-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and received a $12,000 secure bond. Johnny Benjamin Hunt, 57-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to comply non-support and received a $600 cash bond. Juan Cortez, 36-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $12,000 secure bond. Zacchaeus Centel Wilson, 29-year-old male of Bowling Springs, North Carolina, was charged with possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver Schedule II and maintain a vehicle for such, and received a $10,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny report on Sites Drive. There were 4 center caps from a 1972 Chevy pickup truck that were taken back at $300. Also, 2 side mirrors from the same vehicle valued at $200, and a radio antenna valued at $75 that was taken. We had a found property on Cleghorn Mills. A gentleman found a North Carolina tag, AZ63122, same as a trailer tag coming off of a trailer out of Mecklenburg County. Apparently had fallen off of that trailer in this gentleman's yard that he reported. And we had a larceny of a motor vehicle on Old US 74 in Boston. It was a 1989 Toyota Camry, gray in color. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
All right, still relatively busy over there. I'm glad you're on top of things and appreciate you reporting in to us.
Yes, sir. You have a good day, sir.
Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. And we're checking in now over 911 Communication Center. They always have a lot of phone calls, and we'll find out where those calls came from and what they were all about. And Jessica is there to report to us this morning. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning.
What's on the report today?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 478 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 42 EMS calls, 13 for rescue. Law enforcement sheriff's officers respond to 185, Forest City 67, Lake Lure 7, Rutherford 46, Bendale 54. Fire calls, Ellenborough respond to a vehicle accident. Green Hill responded to a vehicle accident. Sandy Mush responded to a vehicle accident, a fire alarm, and a structure fire assisted by SDO, Cliffside, and Ellenborough. And that's all we've got.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a good day.
You too.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
The Forest City Police Department officers are requesting our assistance in identifying larceny suspects on Monday, September the 6th at 6:30 p.m. Officers from the Forest City Police Department responded to a call at Walmart for larceny of a moped. The moped is a 2021 red in color JBLC with a North Carolina tag of M as in Master A53638. The two white male suspects were driving a silver single cab 2014 or 15 Chevrolet Silverado with chrome aftermarket rims and hauling a small black trailer with white rims. If you have seen this or know anything about it or have any information, please contact Sergeant Sean Keeter at Forest City Police Department at 245-5555. Now here is Ruby Taylor reporting from Danieltown with our Thursday morning report. Hi, Ruby.
Hey.
What's on the report?
Well, the fire department assisted Cliffside on a structure fire along with Sandy Mush and Edinburgh. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Kim McCraney having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. And the signs are in the range today and going to the secrets tomorrow. And that's all I got, Jim.
You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye. And we'll check in up at Fairfield Mountains next, but the Polk County Sheriff's Department is asking for our help as well. A hit and run of a car versus bicyclists sent one cyclist to the hospital on Wednesday afternoon. Police are searching for a small black Honda SUV with faded black paint that has significant damage to the right front bumper. The right side of mirror is also missing as it was left at the scene. The hit and run occurred just before 2 p.m. on Wednesday along Highway 108 near Bob White Drive in Polk County. Both cyclists were thrown from their bikes, and one was taken by ambulance as a trauma to a Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The North Carolina Highway Patrol Trooper T.L. Osteen is in charge of the investigation, and anyone with information on the vehicle can call 1-800-445-1772. Again, that's 1-800-445-1772. If you know anything about this, they'd like to find out who hit and ran with that accident. Gary Wilson's up next. He's up in the Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Is it a little foggy up there? No.
Yeah, not too much. Not too much out there. Pretty clear out there right now. Had some couple of thunder boomers come through yesterday. Our biggest rain come right after lunch yesterday, about 1 or 2 o'clock. It poured down for about an hour or so, and got about an inch and a tenth in just a little over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then last night, it looked like it was going to get even more, but we got about 3/10 of an inch out of it. But there's a lot of thunder and lightning and a good bit of wind.
Made a lot of noise,
that
didn't it?
one, it did. It was noisy, especially back toward McDowell County and back down your way. That's where it seemed to be most of the action was at. And altogether, we had about 1 4/10 of rain and no issues from it or anything, so that was a good thing. Quiet overnight as far as fire calls go, and feels pretty good out there this morning. It got rid of some of that humidity. It was sticky yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was hot and humid. But we'll take what we get today and move on toward the weekend. Everything's looking pretty good this morning so far.
Good. Weekend's looking good too, Gary, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow, freshen things
All
up.
right,
and see
you have
what's
a good
going
one.
on. All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Gary Wilson reporting out of the Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Gary's been one of our reporters for a long time. He took a little breather there when he retired, and he got back into the volunteer fire business again up there at Fairfield Mountains, and he said he'd be happy to do the report. And we're still looking for other reporters. I talked with someone that is a firefighter at Cliffside. Talked with him, and he said he would try to help us find somebody that would be willing to be on the radio each morning and give us a report from what's happening in Cliffside. I know the folks in Cliffside would like to hear their fire report and anything else related to the community. It's such a great PR tool for the fire district, fire departments to report what's happening. If there are no fires or wrecks, then they certainly can report any other happenings around the community. And the community would love to know those kind of things. So fire departments, step up and let's get your department on our report here on WCAB. Let's check in now with Bob Hodge with the Hudlow Fire District. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Thursday morning.
You feeling good today?
We're doing just fine up here this morning. We had little thunderstorms and showers come through late yesterday afternoon, and right now it looks like it's cleared out and a little foggy up here in places this morning.
Yeah, we got a little light fog out here as well, and we had a storm roll through around the house last night around 8 o'clock, so it was pretty noisy last night.
Yeah, well, we did yesterday afternoon, then again about 8 or 9 o'clock last night, so we got pretty good shower rain out of them off and on, so. But look like it's going to clear out and be a little cooler. That's going to be nice for the next few days, so. Get out and enjoy a little fall-like temperatures there.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
But, Jim, up here with the fire department, we've answered one medical call, and then we had to call some power lines down on Boy Scout Camp Road yesterday afternoon. And that's about it with the fire department. Everything else going along good up here so far this morning, and maybe we'll all have a good day today.
Well, I hope it stays quiet for everybody.
Do what?
I hope it stays quiet for everybody, all the departments. I hope they don't have to go out on any kind of call.
Yeah, we hope so there. That'd be nice. Nobody didn't have to have any calls there.
It would. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. Well, Jim, that's about it. You take care, and you have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And you can get the Hudlow Report most afternoons, too, with the Afternoon Report with Kevin Pleasant. 28 now past the hour of 7 o'clock. Our high school football game of the week this week is Cherryville at Chase. That's a 7 o'clock countdown, 7:30 kickoff. And other games in the area, RS Central is at Chesney, South Carolina. Christ School at Polk County. McDowell is at Avery. And Burns at Boone, Watauga. And Shelby and Lenore Hybridon has been canceled due to COVID. And Thomas Jefferson has been, it's an open date for them, so they will not be playing tomorrow night. Now we're checking over at the Cherry Mountain Fire District. And Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jill.
It's Thursday morning, and I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing okay. Hope you are.
Yes, yes.
Good. It's a quiet morning over here. We had a thunderstorm last night, though. That was pretty loud. And the storm lasted a long time. Kept hearing the thunder and seeing the lightning. And it poured the rain part of the time. And just a pretty good storm. Let's see, I didn't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they've been quiet and got no birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar or my personal calendar. Fairview's got birthdays for Jace Overcash and Sage Overcash. So I hope they'll have a good day, and we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And I guess in my announcements I could tell that the breakfast that was planned for Duggins Creek Church Sunday has been canceled, so the church service will be, we'll be having no breakfast planned now. I think that's a good idea. It's just COVID's pretty bad, isn't it?
Well, it sounds like it is. A lot of places are fearing that. The Caroline Baptist Church scheduled to have their 125th homecoming Sunday, but they've canceled the homecoming events for that because of COVID scares around the area. So I don't know how long this thing's going to last.
I don't know. It seems like it's here to stay, but anyway, we hope it'll get over with.
Well, I hope so, too.
All these deaths is bad, and not being able to have regular funerals and visitations and stuff. It's just a sad time. But we hope everybody will have a good day today, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You and Richard have a good day as well, and I will check back on you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a little light fog out here in front of our studios in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. Should be lifting here pretty soon. And our weather forecast locally is going to be partly cloudy today. It did have rain in the forecast earlier, but they moved that out for today. So it looks like we're clear sailing now all the way through Tuesday and Wednesday of next week with cooler temperatures. Warmest day looks like it's going to be on Tuesday, and that's a 91 for the daytime high. Rest of the time around 55, 60, 65, and those. So we were looking at beautiful, beautiful weather these next few days, early part of September. Saturday, September the 11th, will be a great day. Perfect weather to assemble downtown at Pops for a memorial celebration of 9/11. Several activities have taken place, and we hope you can make your plans to be there. It's 7:32.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherford.
Well, I'll take a sausage, egg, and biscuit and a cup of coffee. Jessica, if you can handle that this morning.
I sure can. Come down and see me, and I'll be able to fix that for you. I'll even fix your coffee for you.
Hey, I love it. We're talking with Jessica over at Drop In Family Mart there in Bostic, and she's always busy, always has good news about eating breakfast.
Yes, sir. Everybody come down and see us. We got bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits, gravy biscuits, breakfast pizza. You can get a hunk for $3.19, or you can get 2 hunks for $6.19. So everybody come on down this morning. We got our truck in yesterday morning, so we got fresh produce. Just to give everybody a heads up, we have had a lot of people come in here and ask about onions. For some reason, for the past 2 weeks, we have not been able to get onions. We have no clue why, but we have been ordering off of our truck, and it's just not been coming in. We're not real sure why they're not coming in. So if you're looking for onions, we won't have them this week. So just keep that in mind. But everything else we should have for you. We have milk, produce. Everybody keep in mind we do have a meat department. He's got hamburger meat, hamburger steaks, ribeye steaks, and them ribeye steaks are wonderful if you cook them on the grill. Today in the deli, our lunch specials, we will have, I'm going to try to cook ribs today. Hopefully they'll be done by at least 12:30, 1 o'clock. They're $6.99. a half a rack of ribs, and I know people love them things. I didn't have them last week, but I want to try my best to get them done today, at least by 12:30, 1 o'clock. So half a rack of ribs for $6.99. Keep in mind our hours are Monday through Friday until further notice. We will be closing at 7:30. So the hours are from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7:30, and then Sundays the deli's closed, but the store's open from 11 to 6. Also, I can't stress this enough, and I know you probably get tired of hearing me say it, but if anybody's looking for a job, please come see me. My name's Jessica. I may not have no applications on hand, but if I don't, that's perfectly fine. I can still interview you on the spot, and hopefully you can become somebody on our team. And we do ask for experience, but if you don't have experience, that's perfectly fine. I am willing to train. I will stay over all day, every day. I will pull doubles. Make sure you get trained up. I will train you.
Well, you're a dedicated worker.
No problem with that.
There needs to be more people out in the workforce like you, Jessica. You're such a dedicated worker.
Well, I try. I ain't gonna brag about myself, but I do try.
Well, that's all.
But everybody just I don't want to hear nobody saying, "Oh, I can't find a job." Well, drop-ins hiring.
I guarantee you.
All the drop-ins are hiring, cashier and deli positions. So if you're looking for a job, please either come by and see me, personally myself, Jessica, Audrey, or you can go by the main office, and the other drop-ins as well is hiring. So just keep that in mind.
Well, you keep up the good work over there, and I appreciate your dedication to the job and what you're doing for the community as well. And we'll hopefully send some folks over there to go to work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I know we'll send some people over there to eat.
Yes, most definitely. I'd love to see everybody.
I'll see you next time.
All righty. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Jessica. She's back in deli there at the family drop-in in Bostic. The Bostic Sunshine Highway. Busy place, so they always have time for you. If you'll go by and have breakfast this morning, or maybe lunch, or maybe just go grocery shopping, you'll be amazed what they have in the grocery shelves over there as well, almost like a big supermarket, except on a smaller scale. It's 7:37. Braves had a good night Tuesday night, had a bad night last night. The Nationals beat them 4-2, and they'll wrap up that series with them tonight. Braves and the Nationals tonight. And then they take on the Marlins in a series coming up. So hang around with us during the Brave season.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Excuse me, this coffee looks small.
That's our new large. The new large size is our old tall size, and the new tall is the old small.
So this is your small?
Nope, that's a new large, like you ordered.
Right.
These days, everything seems smaller. So we're going bigger with the Bigger Spin from the North Carolina Education Lottery. New scratch-offs with a chance at a live spin on the Bigger Spin prize wheel for 2 million big ones. And that's huge. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.62. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
You can hear Andrew Tisdale's radio show every Tuesday morning at 8:05 here in the Blue Room. He's talked to us about making sense of our finances. Well, Tina White's AWL this morning could not reach her by telephone to give the report out of Shingle Hollow. Hope she's okay, but we're going to move right on over to upstate Union Mills and get the Kelly report from Brenda. Good morning, Brenda Kelly.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous Thursday morning?
I'm pretty good for the shape of men.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah.
A little foggy out here. How about your place?
No, it's not foggy. I hadn't looked down the driveway. It may be foggy down the driveway and up on the other hill. No, it's okay up here. So that's good.
That's good, yeah.
But people need to be careful because if you're close to a creek or a river or something like that, it's going to be foggy. Just be careful out there. We don't want no accident.
And run into it before you realize it.
That's exactly right. But we hope everybody's having a good morning. I've got 64 degrees on the front porch. I don't have but one birthday, and that's Josephine Eddy. So I hope Josephine has a fine day today. In ways of announcement, Gilchrist Community Center, breakfast Saturday, September the 11th, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., $7 for adults, $3 for children, and 5 and under eat free. And so far, that's all I know of going on. It's just short, sweet, and quiet. And we had several little storms to pass through yesterday. And I know last night I was watching Wheel of Fortune, and of course you couldn't get no signal. It went off, and it stayed off for forever so long I didn't get to watch Jeopardy or nothing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it just thundered and lightning for ever so long.
What satellite are you affiliated with? Dish or Direct or?
Direct.
Direct?
Yeah.
We have Direct as well, and ours went off about 8 o'clock. Satellite went off about 8 o'clock, and so we just turned the TV off, went to bed.
Well, I turned the TV off and sat there and done word search book, and then went to bed.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is, and I could see lightning for ever so long after that, but I couldn't hear the thunder, but it would still light up the sky. I mean, it just went on and on and on. So,
yeah, you hear,
we got
rumbling
rain and
in
everything.
You could hear it rumbling in the horizon over there. You don't know how close it is, but see lightning and it rumbles a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it, but I could see the lightning. I listened. I couldn't hear no thunder, but so it must have been pretty far off. But I could still see the lightning. So
all we can do is say, "Keep me safe till the storm passes by."
That's exactly right. That's a good song.
Yeah.
But I guess you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan, see if they had a storm down there.
All right, Brenda, you have a safe day up there, and I'll see you next time.
Catch you later.
All right, bye. This morning scheduled to be my guest, Philip Morrow, is going to be calling in to give us a report from the school board meeting Tuesday night, and we'll check with him, see what happened. And then Congresswoman Virginia Fox scheduled to call in this morning also about 8:30. And we'll find out what she's dealing with up in Washington on our behalf. Join us 8 o'clock hour for some exciting, interesting things.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Well, before we go to Washburn Store and find some great things over there, let's head over toward Ellenboro and talk with Luther Gillian. He's up and at 'em this morning and on the bright side. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. It's a nice day there this morning. A little bit cloudy, a little dreary, but it's nice. Refreshed the rain last night. Cleared all the smog out of the air. So we're breathing good this morning. Let's have allergies.
I like that.
Me too. But it's a good day. It's quiet there this morning. Not a whole lot going on. People just heading on out to work, getting another day going. The fire department only had one call last night about 6 o'clock. We were assistant Sandy Mush. And they weren't going on. They were back about a little after 7. But other than that, everything's quiet there and nothing's going on. So you have a great day there, and we'll talk to you again in the morning.
Thanks, Luther. I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right, take care now.
And you can catch the Ellenboro Report most afternoons, too, with the Afternoon Report. 746, and speaking of Washburn Store, it's a great place if you're looking for gifts. Now, you might think that's not a gift store, Jim. Yes, it is. If you'll ask them to do a gift basket for you for someone special, maybe it's an anniversary coming up or birthday coming up, or just because you want to say, I appreciate what you're doing, and you want to give them a gift basket, let them fix one up for you there at Washburn Store. You will be impressed and really impress the one you're giving it to. Ask about them over there. Go see them. Say, I heard Jim talking about gift baskets. So what do you have in mind? What can you do? So they'll help you decide what you think your recipient might like. And those gift baskets are nice. So have a gift basket made up from Washburn Store, and you'll be glad you did it. You'll be thinking about that next time comes gift-giving time. Washburn Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. It's time for birthdays and anniversaries. Speaking of, if you want to give a birthday gift, that'd be a great gift to give. Birthdays and anniversaries can be called in to us now at 287-3356. We'll celebrate for this 9th day of September, September the 9th. And if you are having a birthday or anniversary, let us celebrate with you and give you a big shout-out this morning. Birthdays and anniversaries are special, and you make it even more when we celebrate with you. 287-3356. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled A-R-Y-E-E. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. And Granny B's opening now at 6:30 in the morning. If you have time to go by and get one of those or a couple of dozen of those Daylight Donuts, They make them fresh every morning, and you'll be pleased with them. Get yourself a cup of coffee out of their great coffee machine over there, and they have some specialty coffees. You'll enjoy doing that as well. If you have time to sit down and enjoy that with them in the dining room, do that. If you need to hurry and take them to work with you, but be sure you get your team a good daylight donut from Granny B's. They're opening at 6:30 now, 6:30 in the morning, Tuesday through Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Have a birthday going out to Sharon Lovelace this morning. Sharon's up in sunshine, 65 today. So Sharon, happy birthday. We hope you have many, many more happy returns. So enjoy this one and make it special. Sharon Lovelace, our birthday winner this morning. Now stand by. We have Keys to Confident Living coming up. And a little after 8 o'clock, somewhere there and about, we're going to have Philip Morrow scheduled to be talking about the school board meeting Tuesday night, which was interesting, exciting. And then Congresswoman Virginia Fox, 8:30 this morning. We'll talk with her. All right here on The Morning Show, exclusively on 100.9 FM, 590 AM.
To have good human relations, communication is absolutely critical. Two inexperienced hunters went into the woods to hunt. The game warden was concerned about them getting lost, so he instructed them that the signal for distress is to fire 3 shots in rapid succession. Sure enough, they got lost. One of them said to the other, "You had better fire 3 shots." So he did. Nothing happened. After waiting for about an hour or two, the first hunter said, "You'd better fire another 3 shots." So again he did. They waited another hour or so, and still nothing happened. Again, the first hunter turned to the second and said in great distress, "I guess you'd better fire 3 more shots." His friend said, "I can't. I've run out of arrows." How easy it is to think that we are sending out the right signals when we are sending out silent arrows. We think the messages are clear, but no one else understands them. Couples often assume their mate should know why they are upset, when in fact the message is not clear at all. It is a guessing game. How much better to build a relationship where we can clearly communicate what we are feeling or desiring. Why not try saying, "Honey, you hurt me when you said," or "Honey, it meant a lot to me when you..." Clear and precise communication is vitally important. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
Good morning. Good
from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Letting Americans leave. The Taliban now says a flight carrying those with the proper paperwork will not be blocked from leaving Kabul. ABC's Tom Rivers is at the foreign desk.
Qatari officials say the Taliban will allow between 100 and 150 Americans to depart in the coming hours. A Qatar Airways plane landed earlier today, bringing in humanitarian aid. That's the aircraft on which the Westerners will leave. It'll be the first commercial flight from the international airport since it shuttered after the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the country at the end of last month.
The largest trial in French history going on in Paris. 300 lawyers, 1,800 plaintiffs involved in the terror trial of those alleged to have carried out the Bataclan theater attacks in Paris in 2015. President Biden getting ready to roll out a 6-point plan to deal with coronavirus 18 months after the pandemic began. ABC's Cecilia Vega is at the White House with details.
The president met with his COVID response team yesterday. Later today, he's going to unveil this 6-point plan. They're looking at talking about vaccinating the unvaccinated, keeping the vaccinated protected, keeping schools open and kids safe. That's an important one. Testing and mask mandates, the economic recovery and all of this, and care for those who do test positive.
Doctors have said almost everyone hospitalized now with COVID has not gotten the vaccine. Children who can't be vaccinated yet make up 1 in every 4 new cases. The federal government taking a step to challenge the new abortion law in Texas. ABC's Rachel Scott.
It is the most restrictive abortion law in the nation, and the Biden administration has been under immense pressure to do something about it. The Attorney General said that he would be looking into every possible option to challenge this law, and this morning we are learning the Justice Department is expected to sue the state of Texas.
With a rally planned in support of those who were arrested on January 6th at the Capitol, they are putting fencing back up around the building. That protest planned for next weekend. You're listening to ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. But like any air filter, the more clogged up it gets, the less it works. So how do you clean your nose? I'm Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation. The neti pot's been around thousands of years. But I did invent Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage has over 70,000 online reviews averaging 4.7 stars because it works and it's easy to use. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Now available with eucalyptus for a spa-like experience. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Opening statements done in the fraud trial of the founder of the failed blood testing company Theranos.
Elizabeth Holmes, they allege, made these misleading, fraudulent statements along the way about the device, this miniature blood testing device that she claimed could run hundreds of tests on a few drops of blood. It couldn't, that she misled people, calling this thing something that made its way onto the battlefield in military uses. It never did.
That's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis covering the trial. Shoppers have been seeing it. Meat is more expensive, and now ABC's Andrea Fujii says the Biden administration's trying to step in.
Rising meat prices are prompting the White House to take action. Grocery prices are up nearly 3% in the last year, but beef and pork up more than 10%.
I see it every week in the grocery store. You look at prices and you're like almost stunned.
At a briefing Wednesday, White House officials took aim at the big meat companies. They say 4 companies, JBS, Tyson Foods, Cargill Meat Solutions Corp., and National Beef Packing Company, control most of the market, and data shows they've been raising prices during the pandemic while generating big profits.
The White House looking to strengthen regulations and expand processing capability. Heading for auction, a set of diamond bracelets reportedly worn by Marie Antoinette. They're covered in 112 stones. Experts think they could sell for $4 million at Christie's in November. This is ABC News.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. A cold front is moving across the state today, and that's producing scattered to widespread showers and thunderstorms midday and through the afternoon. Highs today will be in the upper 70s and near 80. Those showers will come to an end this evening, and drier weather arrives overnight tonight. Cooler as well to start Friday morning with many of us in the 50s. Friday afternoon, we'll see a sunny sky, a beautiful day ahead with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Sunshine for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Zach. We're at 66 degrees currently here under the cloudy skies of Rutherford County in the Tri-City area. Cloudy today and getting up to about 83 for a daytime high here in the foothills. Wind gusting to about 17 miles per hour, so if you got any loose limbs, they may come down with this wind gust. About a bunch here lately. Mostly clear tonight, lows around 55. Once we get past the threat today of maybe a pop-up shower, looks like it's clear and mostly sunny all the way through Wednesday of next week. And the warmest day looks like Tuesday, which will be 91 for a daytime high. And the night times, they'll be kind of nice. Tonight, it's going to be about 55. Friday night, football Friday night, 57 for the overnight low and mostly clear. So great night for football. And speaking of which, our high school football game of the week this week is going to be Cherryville at Chase, and we'll have that game for you, 7 o'clock countdown, and then 7:30 kickoff. Jay Combs, who is Mr. Friday Night, will be on with us tomorrow morning about 8:05 to talk about that game and other games in our conference that surround us that we're interested in. He talks about those and gives us good insight into what to expect from high school football Friday nights, and we'll look forward to that. Other teams will be Cherryville at Chase. That's our game, of course. RS Central at Chesney, South Carolina. Christ School at Polk County. McDowell at Avery. And Crest at North Gaston. Burns at Boone Watauga. And the game between Lenore High Broughton and Shelby has been canceled due to COVID. And South Point at Shelby, that's a replacement game, so they'll be playing. And Daniel, South Carolina at Hendersonville. Morganton Patton and at Morganton Freedom. And Thomas Jefferson has an open day tonight, so they will not be playing. We hope to have Phil Morrow, the chairman of the Rutherford County School Board, on with us briefly this morning to talk about Tuesday night's board meeting. Since Monday was a holiday and nothing met Monday night, commissioners normally meet on Monday night. The school board meets on Tuesday night, so we can have the commissioner report on Tuesday and the school board on Wednesday. County commissioners met Tuesday night, and we had a conflict on Wednesday with the county commissioners report. So we got school board report scheduled hopefully today. And then Virginia Fox scheduled to be on about 8:35 this morning. So a lot of stuff going on. We'll tell you about some of those in just a moment.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford. Gregory's Original.
The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is requesting the public's assistance in locating a missing person, Tara Ann Hunsaker. Tara is 19 years old, a white female who is 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighs about 125 pounds. She has brown hair, green eyes. Please call the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office if you know anything about where Tara might be. Identifying larceny suspects. On Monday, September the 6th at 6:30 p.m., officers from the Forest City Police Department responded to a call at Walmart for larceny of a moped. The moped is a 2021 red in color JBLC with a North Carolina tag of M as in master, A53638. MA53638. The two white male suspects were driving a silver single cab 2014-15 Chevrolet Silverado with chrome aftermarket rims and hauling a small black trailer with white rims. If you've seen this truck or seen these folks, if you have any information, please contact Sergeant Sean Keeter at Forest City Police Department at 245-5555. 245-5555. Again, the two white males were driving a silver single cab. It's either a 2014 or 2015 Chevrolet Silverado with chrome aftermarket rims and hauling a small black trailer with white rims. And they would like to your help in helping locate those people. Meanwhile, Polk County is investigating a hit and run around the Pea Ridge area of a car versus bicyclist sent one cyclist to the hospital Wednesday afternoon. Police are searching for a small black Honda SUV with faded black paint that has significant damage to the right front bumper. The right side mirror is also missing as it was left at the scene. The hit and run occurred just before 2 p.m. on Wednesday along Highway 108 near Bob White Drive in Polk County. Both cyclists were thrown from their bikes, and one was taken by ambulance as a trauma to Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The North Carolina Highway Patrol Trooper T.L. Osteen is in charge of that investigation. Anyone with information on the vehicle, please call 1-800-445-1772. Again, that's 1-800-445-1772. Those of you who love to travel up I-26 going to the mountains or going various places around Asheville, a section of Interstate 26 East will be closed today through tonight. Closed tonight. Motorists will be detoured onto Hendersonville Road US 25, where traffic signals will be modified to handle the increased traffic. I-26 East will be closed from Long Shoals Road to US 25 Business, exit 44, starting no earlier than 8 p.m. each night, last night and tonight. Contractors for the North Carolina Department of Transportation will be conducting multiple operations in both Buncombe and Henderson counties. Traffic will be diverted via the Integrated Corridor Management System to Long Shoals Road and Hendersonville Road. The interstate will reopen no later than 6 a.m. The ICM system will provide longer green times and traffic signals to accommodate the additional interstate traffic. These plans are weather dependent, of course, and subject to change. Transportation officials advise drivers to obey all posted traffic signs and remain alert in work zones. We're about used to that traffic pattern upon I-26, aren't we? They're doing something all the ways there, so it's not unusual for us to have delays going up 26. Well, the Daily Courier is reporting about officials warning against using livestock dewormer to treat COVID-19 in some parts of the United States, including Rutherford County. There has been a growing interest in and a misuse of a medicine made for farm animals as a treatment for COVID-19. Animal formulations of the drug called ivermectin are used to treat parasites in animals. There are some human versions of the drug that are approved to treat parasitic worms and for things like head lice and skin conditions like rosacea. But health authorities, including the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, say humans using ivermectin for COVID prevention or treatment is dangerous. Livestock formulations of ivermectin are different from the ivermectin designed for humans, and none, he said, are for treating COVID. Self-medicating with ivermectin can interfere with the effects of other life-saving drugs many people are taking daily. Bradley encourages members of the public to consult with your family doctor and consider getting a COVID vaccine instead of taking ivermectin. According to the FDA, individuals can overdose on ivermectin, which can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, low blood pressure, allergic reactions, dizziness, problems with balance, seizures, coma, and even deaths. COVID-19 vaccines are available for free to those who are at least 12 years old. So far, a total of 254 Rutherford County citizens have died from COVID-19. So just a word there from word of caution for you to consider and think about. And that story was out of the Daily Courier. Well, 14 minutes after 8 o'clock, looks like our school board chairman is not going to be available to do the report this morning. But maybe I can give you some highlights based on the report out of the Daily Courier. The Rutherford County School mask mandate will remain in place despite renewed objections by parents. Some of those objections were unruly at the meeting on Tuesday night, which led to ejection. The Board of Education decided at its meeting Tuesday night to leave the mask requirement intact. All but one agreed that it was in the best interest of the students to slow the spread of COVID-19 and to reduce the number of students required to quarantine. Board member Brandy Nanny voted against extending the mandate. At the beginning of the meeting, during the time for public comments, two people, Stephanie Parsons and Kelly Wiggin, were critical of the board and its decisions regarding masks. Zach Parker, who represents the Rutherford County Association of Teachers, thanked the board for considering the health and safety of students and staff. Parsons was the first to offer comments. She claimed to have recently moved to the area after fleeing Buncombe County because of tyranny and dictators. End quote. Now, she said, we don't have any rights over our children or our bodies. Parsons says the RCS board was a jihadist regime and claimed that board members were taking the action regarding the pandemic only to merchandise our kids. Masks do nothing but hinder education, she said. Then she threatened the board with legal action. Later in the meeting, Parsons talked loudly to others around her and yelled directly at board members before she was forcibly removed from the building by security. Apparently, this was not Parsons' first time at disrupting the meeting and proceedings of public bodies. A video clip available on social media shows Parsons screaming during a meeting of the Buncombe County Board of Education in August. In May, Parsons was part of a protest against vaccines held in Raleigh. At that event, Parsons told a television news outlet in part, "Why should we ever inject something into our bodies that could possibly harm us? It goes against the Nuremberg Code of Ethics." Well, Kelly Wiggin was also angry at the board. She explained that she had recently removed her children from Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy because of that school's mask mandate. She then offered her criticism of the Rutherford County School quarantine procedures and said the board members are dictators. Parker, however, offered his support for the board and said he understands the board members are in a difficult position and have to make difficult, sometimes unruly decisions. He then asked the board to be more forceful in encouraging citizens of Rutherford County to become vaccinated. Vaccinations, Parker said, are the key to helping the community return to normal. Before the board voted to continue with mask mandates, Superintendent David Sutton reviewed the RCS COVID-19 mitigation procedures and current data. It was noted that with the mask mandate, the rate of quarantine for students due to school exposures will come down. School officials emphasized again that they are not looking for ways to send students into quarantine. We're not eager to send kids home regardless of what you may be hearing, said Brad Teague, Chief Operating Officer. Several board members restated their desire to keep the schools open in a safe and healthy manner for students and staff. Board member Sherry Bride made the motion to maintain the mask mandate. Board member Rick Ficklin seconded the motion. The motion passed 6-1 with Nanny opposing. State law requires all local school boards to revisit local mask policy and vote to maintain or amend each month. So in other business, Sutton noted the state testing results for the 2021 school year are now being released, and RCS officials represent results at the October board meeting. Also at the meeting, the Rutherford County School Finance Officer was recognized for receiving the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting. Finance Officer Heidi Kearns and her team, Angie Owenby, Anita Bradley, Ann Gurley, and Star McGinnis, were recognized at that meeting. So that's the gist of what they did. It would be nice to have had the school board's chairman here with us to give us that straight from the horse's mouth, but we don't. So I'll just take what excerpts I have out of the Daily Courier. 18 minutes now past 8 o'clock here on WCAB. Virginia Fox scheduled to be with us at 8:35 this morning.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Chris Francis up next.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 185 calls for service. There have been 20 arrests processed in the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 218. Among those arrested, Seth Brandon Green, a 20-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to appear and received a $10,000 secure bond. Brandy Nicole McCombs, a 31-year-old female, was charged with injury to property and received a $2,000 unsecured bond. Justin Keith Lowry, 35-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and received a $12,000 secure bond. Johnny Benjamin Hunt, 57-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to comply and non-support and received a $600 cash bond. Juan Cortez, 36-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $12,000 secure bond. Zacchaeus Centel Wilson, 29-year-old male of Bowling Springs, North Carolina, was charged with possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver Schedule 2 and maintain a vehicle for such, and received a $10,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny report on Sites Drive. There were 4 center caps from a 1972 Chevy pickup truck that were taken back at $300. Also, 2 side mirrors from the same vehicle, valued at $200, and a radio antenna valued at $75 that was taken. We had a found property on Cleghorn Mills. A gentleman found a North Carolina tag, AZ63122, same as a trailer tag coming off of a trailer out of Mecklenburg County. Apparently had fallen off of that trailer in this gentleman's yard that he reported. And we had a larceny of a motor vehicle on Old US 74 in Boston. It was a 1989 Toyota Camry, gray in color. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Thank you very much, Sheriff Chris Francis, for that report. And we have the Sheriff's Report every morning doing the caller-in report, and we record it for playback at this time, and then it's part of the afternoon report as well. So if you miss the morning ones, we do it another time, Monday through Friday. Let me remind you again to keep in mind this Saturday is a very important day in remembrance of the 20th anniversary of 9/11 Memorial Cemetery 20 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing at that point? Well, Saturday, September the 11th, there's a remembrance ceremony, memorial ceremony in downtown Forest City at Pavilion on Park Square called POPs. Starts out about 8:30 with the emergency vehicle display, then commemorative music at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, opening remarks, posting of the colors and the national anthem, and speech by Colonel Christy Haynes, retired colonel from right here in Rutherford County. 11 o'clock, closing remarks, 11:30, emergency vehicle parade. All that's taking place Saturday at POPs. We hope you'll make your plans to come and spend as much time as you can in that respect on Saturday. Sports date coming up here in just a few moments. Right now, let's take a little pause down memory lane and see if this reflects any memories for you.
Jim, these are good. This is going to embolden the terrorists, and rather than stopping the terrorists as we did while we had people in Afghanistan, this is going to cause them to be more bold.
Well, we certainly left them enough firing equipment, enough military units to attack us at any moment.
Absolutely, and they had the opposition up in the northern part of the country for all these years, and then all of a sudden, with our equipment, they're able to crush those people. And they'll sell it to China and to Iran, and they'll be able to duplicate it. The Chinese don't create anything, but they're fabulous copiers. They get a hold of anything of ours, they are able to copy it very, very quickly.
And then we spend a lot of money buying things from them.
That's exactly right. It's such a screwed up system, and honestly, everybody I talk to, Jim, just says, I can't understand it. Explain it to me. What did Biden do? And my answer to that is not, we know what he did. Why did he do it?
Yeah.
That's the question. Why in the world? I think he's demented, but it's not just that he's in a state now where he, I think, doesn't know what's going on. I think his judgment has always been impaired. Gates said every decision he ever made about foreign policy was wrong. Every one.
Who do you think's dictating to him now? Where's all these instructions coming from? Is it former President Obama or George Soros, or who's talking to him?
I do think Obama is pulling the strings. Obama once famously said, yes, he'd love to have a third term if he could be the puppeteer. That's what he wanted. He wanted somebody out front whose strings he could pull, and that's exactly what he's doing. The Biden administration is composed 99% of people who worked in the Obama administration. And so they are absolutely, there's a colloquial expression in the mountains, who's pulling his chain? Well, I think it's President Obama. But I also think it's partly just Obama's bad decision making. He is totally wrong on terrorists. And so was President Obama. They never recognized the threat of these Islamic terrorists. Never recognized it. They want to destroy the United States. They want to destroy everything that is not a part of their radical religion. And they're on a march to do so.
Well, it's certainly, there's always been time for this, but it's certainly a more critical time right now for Americans who believe in prayer to be praying very strongly for our country.
That's right. I have a friend who does pray, and I mean, she is a real serious prayer warrior. She has said to me that she thinks that this is, that the Lord is revealing to us all the evil that's out there. Now, what's worrisome to me is how's the Lord going to equip us to take on this evil? Now, we know the Lord can take it on easily, can zap it, but I believe he's wants us to do what we're supposed to do. But how? I mean, I know one way to do it, but we're going to have to put up with it for the next 14 months, and that is we have an election coming up in 2022 where we can take back the House and take back the Senate, and we can slow a lot of this down. But we can't certainly stop President Biden now. He may be stopped on his own. I mean, again, there are things that are out of our hands, but we can make a difference. So every American who's worried needs to be thinking about what can I do to help the cause in 2022. I mean, last night I answered 2 letters, because I answer my mail every night, Jim. Every night. People find it hard to believe. I think I'm the only member of Congress that answers all my mail. And I was answering, and people were saying to me, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, I say to people, what did you do last year? Or what are you going to do now? Because, as I pointed out to one writer, The Constitution begins with the words, and I think they're the three most important words outside the Bible. We the people.
Yes.
This is not something you turn over to your elected officials. Every American has to watch for the infringement of his or her freedom. And that's number one, because our freedoms are being taken away by this government, little by little. And this big bill that I'm in Washington today and tomorrow to vote in the Education and Labor Committee. I'm the lead Republican, to try to stop what we can. They want to take away religious freedom. I mean, they do want to take away our religious freedom. They hate the fact that we have religious freedom or any kind of freedoms in this country. I got to be careful. I don't want to sound like an extremist, but they want a small group of bureaucrats to control our lives. They want government-run child care, government-run schools. They want us all to be beholden to the federal government. And then a small group of people in the federal government. You know, Jim, I urge people to read the book 1984 and the book Brave New World. If you want to know about what these people want to do, read those books. Read Animal Farm. Animal Farm take about less than an hour to read. It's very short. Read those three books, and you will get a feeling of what it is these people want to do.
Congressman, I also know you're working on something that's very crucial to the hearts and minds of many people across the country, certainly right here in our area, and that is the critical race theory thing. Tell us what you're doing with that and how that's working out.
Well, we're going to talk about that in this committee meeting today, too, but let me tell you what I have done already. I have co-sponsored a bill with Scott Fitzgerald from Wisconsin 5. You know, we're both from a 5th district, so we've got a camaraderie. Now, he's a great guy. He was the president of the Senate in Wisconsin when it did so many wonderful things. We've introduced a bill called the Curriculum Review of Teachings Transparency Act. I'm big on transparency, Jim. I want the American people to know what the federal government's trying to do to them. So it would require local school districts to post the curriculum for each grade of their elementary and secondary schools on publicly accessible websites. So what we want the public to know is what is being taught to their children. You know what we always say, the best disinfectant is sunlight. And so we want parents to be aware of what's being taught in the schools, and if it's critical race theory, we want them to be aware of it. What we want them to do is be able to make choices about where their children go to school, ultimately. The education of children should be a collaborative process between parents and teachers. But the public schools have gotten away from that. I call them government schools, by the way, because that's what they are. They're being controlled by the federal government, by the teachers' unions. Now, we don't have teachers' unions in North Carolina per se, but we have the NCAE, and they control a lot of what's going on. So we do not want bureaucrats and teachers' unions making the decision about what's being taught to children. And the Biden administration is trying to push critical race theory by blackmailing the schools and saying, well, we'll give you money if you do this. If you don't do it, you don't get the money.
That's not a fair situation for America.
No, it is not. And on the other hand, they're also the Justice Department, in collaboration with the Department of Education, is going after states that do things they disagree with. For example, there are some red states that have said you cannot mandate the wearing of mask. And so they're going after those states, and they're threatening to withhold money from them. This is taxpayer money. This is not the bureaucrats' money. This is your and my money that we give up to the federal government under duress. And then, again, we've got this small group of bureaucrats who decide how to spend it.
I wanted to ask you too, talking about face mask, how legal is it for companies and to require their employees to wear masks, or they'll be fired, or they will not be allowed into the building, whatever, if you don't wear a mask? How legal is that? Is that legal?
Well, unfortunately, it is. Now, there's a lot of protest going on about it. I hate them. I just hate wearing masks. And by the way, all the research shows they're useless. They're totally useless, particularly these cloth masks that most people wear. Now, they're very clever. I love seeing all the different masks that people wear celebrating their school or whatever. But they're not helpful. They're not helpful at all.
Well, I know we had a little controversy here locally with the school board. School board just recently voted to make it mandated mask in classrooms, and some of the people attended the school board meeting the other night and got a little irate because of that decision. And a couple of them had to be escorted out of the room. Now that's not a good way to handle the situation.
No, we shouldn't. We don't want to play by the same rules they do. I mean, we don't want to be violent or obstructionist.
Yeah, that's true. The fact that you stay so busy up in Washington, I was impressed to hear you say that you personally answer all your letters that you get. I'm sure that must take some time to do that, but
it does.
You're to be commended for having that kind of impact with your constituents. A lot of folks just ignore those things, but one of the things you have is a great reputation and being a valid fighter for your district, and I appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to continue to do that. I represent people. I understand who I represent, Jim. I'm not representing me. I'm not representing a bunch of elites. I'm representing average people. And one of the comments I make today in my opening statement is, you know, they're asking us to spend $700 and some billion on projects that I just don't think are worthwhile. And I tell everybody, you know, I have a relative who lives in a 40-year-old single-wide trailer at the end of a dirt road. Now, every time I'm asked to spend money, I think about, is that the way they're asking me to spend money, is that better? Should I be taxing that person to give this money away to people who don't work, or people who don't take school seriously when we're helping to pay for it in college? Should we be giving free tuition to people when these people who live in that trailer at the end of the dirt road never had a chance to go to college? That's how I think, Jim. I think like the persons I represent.
You're one of us.
And by the way, I grew up in a house with no electricity, no running water.
Yeah.
I was 14 years old. And, you know, I go to the grocery store. I buy everything I can on sale. I buy day-old meat. I buy clothes in the thrift store. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just saying it's important we don't lose touch with the people we represent.
As my parents used to say, don't ever get above your raisin.
That's exactly right. And, Jim, I never will. I never will. I go home every weekend. I work in my yard. I cook and clean my house. I do all those things, and I interact with the people, you know, that I should be interacting with.
Well, can you answer to a lot of folks have asked me this question. I don't really know the answer. How much longer will the government be paying people to stay at home instead of going to work?
Well, the unemployment benefits dropped off as of the 7th, I believe it was, earlier this week. And so hopefully that won't come back again. Nancy Pelosi wanted to continue it. She wanted to continue it on and on and on. She wanted to make it permanent. Now, the president has said he would not agree to that. I'll have to say that's one good decision that has come out of the White House, is to stop doing that. Jim, I had checked several years ago with CRS. 90% of people went back to, by the next to the last week of their unemployment, 90% of the people went back to work over the years, ever since unemployment began. Now, we didn't used to have unemployment insurance. It began sometime in the 40s. But we know that people will do that. They think it's free money. But what they don't understand is that's money paid by their employer into a fund to help them out in a short-term basis or bridge them from one job to another. It was never intended as a special benefit to people, but that's the way people are viewing it. Anytime there's money coming from Washington or Raleigh, they think it's free. It's not manna from heaven. It could be given to them in other ways. If their employer didn't have to put it into this fund, they probably could be getting it on a week-by-week basis in raises, or maybe their health care costs could be lower. Lots of ways that money could be used, but some people take advantage of it and some don't.
Well, it could be given to some of these smaller businesses that are struggling to stay alive because of the pandemic and the COVID. They could help prop them up a little while and give them an advantage over shutting down.
That's right. And another thing that's in this bill we're going to be discussing today, Jim, is they're increasing OSHA penalties 512%. It appears that the Biden administration will do everything it can to put businesses out of business. Absolutely everything they can. They're going to increase regulations, and they're going to penalize prohibitively any kind of rule violation. It's going to be a gotcha situation. So most of the time when people get penalized by OSHA, they don't even know they're breaking a rule till OSHA comes in and says, oh, you can't do this. It's some obscure little thing. But what they should do, if it's not life-threatening, they should come in and say, hey, you know, here's a better way for you to do this to protect your employees. Businesses and industry want to protect their employees. They're having a really hard time getting those employees, and so they want to protect them. But that's not the way, again, the bureaucrats look at it. It's a way for them to punish people. They want to punish the private sector, reward the public sector.
I'll let you go. One other quick question. Is Washington doing anything relative to Saturday's memorial of the anniversary of the 9/11? Are they doing anything in Washington?
Well, I don't think most people will be here, hopefully. We've got this markup today and tomorrow. Ways and Means is marking up. So we have members in town right now to work on these bills. But I have not heard of anything being done right out in the Capitol. In years past, when we've been in town on 9/11, yes, we have done things. But I will be going to, I think, 5 different events on Saturday I've been invited to, and I'm speaking at 3 of those.
And you're coming into Rutherford County, I believe, in a couple of weeks for our Lincoln's Day dinner. So
I am, and I'm going to try to get there earlier in the day and spend some time visiting with people.
Good. One final thing from you, anything before we let you go?
Not just, I don't want people to be discouraged. I know I've said a lot of things negatively today, but I agree with you, pray, but also work. You know what Ephesians, I don't know, I can't quote which chapter and verse, but Ephesians says, I believe faith without works is dead. So pay attention. Go to your school board meetings. Don't try to disrupt them. Go to your county commissioners meetings. Go to your town hall meetings, and talk to your neighbors. Make sure your neighbors understand what's going on, because many people vote against their own philosophy because they don't quite understand what the people think and do when they get into office. So I would just say become educated. Sign up for my newsletter. Several letters I answered last night. I said, well, if you were reading my newsletter, you know the answer to these questions. www.fox.house.gov or call the library, and they'll tell you how to get in touch with me.
Virginia Fox, thank you so much for representing the 5th District so well, and we always enjoy talking with you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Jim, for allowing me to be with you. God bless you all.
And that's Congresswoman Virginia Fox here on the radio with us this morning, talking about what's happening in Washington. Too much going on to talk about everything, but we certainly appreciate her time this morning. 8:52, we'll got to My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up at 9:05 this morning, so we got to dig out of here in a few minutes and make room for that.
There are so many insurance agencies here and there, but to find a dependable agency that you can trust, that would be Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency. They are your full-service agency offering auto, business, homeowners, health, and life. Maxwell B. Hamrick is an independent insurance agent. Call them today at 286-2384. They care about their customers, and it shows. They're located at 119 Huntley Street in Spindale. Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency, serving one satisfied customer at a time.
We're going to wrap things up here in just a few moments for the morning wake-up call, hour number 3. But thank you so much. We'll be back to do this again tomorrow morning. But it's a couple of things. I like to some of these folks that we read about is just absolutely crazy. And these left-wing entertainers, so-called entertainers, they ought to stick to acting or singing. Bette Midler, actress Bette Midler, they're upset because Texas got away with outlawing abortions after the heartbeat of a baby. The court approved what they were doing, and so all the liberals are really upset. And actress Bette Midler wants women to hold sex strikes until the Texas abortion ban is overturned. Yeah, just say no to, I think, well, that's a great way to not have a baby that you don't want. It always starts 9 months earlier than it does after the 9 months is over with. Sister Tolja at Red State is reminding us that actress Bette Midler is once again expressing her outrage at pro-life legislation by demanding all the ladies engage in a sex strike until the liberals win and abortions are as easily available as a manicure. That's what she would like. Babies killed as easily as getting a manicure. So she said, I suggest all women refuse to have sex with men until they are guaranteed the right to choose by Congress. This is not Midler's first foray into advocating for sex strikes. She joined fellow actress Elisa Milano's call for a sex strike back in 2019 over Georgia's fatal heartbeat bill. Presumably, the only women who would take part in this sex strike would be women who think like Bette Midler and Elisa Milano. With that in mind, I'm completely on board with these types of women abstaining from sex because that lessens the likelihood that there would eventually be many versions of them who would one day follow in their parents' radical pro-abortion footsteps. So if it does something like that, maybe it's good. She added, quote, let's face it, many of us do feel a twinge of sympathy for the men who have chosen to put up with these type of women by dating them or marrying them. Midler is 75 years old and has been married to the same man for 36 plus years. We're going to guess Midler is doing this for the Twitter clicks, over 108,000 likes. The sex-positive leftists can't possibly take this seriously for very long, can they? Finally, the Tolja flurry of blows ends with this. Lastly, sex strike campaigns proposed by women like Midler and Milano are a good idea because they give us the clearest look yet at the stark differences between women who claim women shouldn't use sex as a weapon but who don't practice what they preach, and those who actually do abide by that rule, because I can't think of a worse example for younger generations of women than one who thinks it's a good idea to use her body as a bargaining chip to get what she wants. Bette Midler is the same Hollywood scholar who tweeted in 2018 after the Kavanaugh accuser parade failed to defeat him that, quote, women are the N-word of the world, end quote. Raped, beaten, enslaved, married off, enduring the pain and danger of childbirth and life in silence for thousands of years, end quote. So they just don't understand. And what having to do with women saying no to sex with their husband or boyfriend or whatever the case may be, how that's going to change anything. It could create a whole lot of problems among if some woman decided she wants to be like Bette Midler and said, oh, no, not until Texas changes their abortion law. I'm not going to go to bed with you. Oh, no. Crazy people out there, world. 57 now past 8 o'clock. I'll be back in just a few moments with My Great America with Jim and Butch. Meanwhile, let's enjoy this.
Like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Fewest since the pandemic began. The Labor Department announcing this morning that 310,000 Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week, another new pandemic low. The numbers coming as President Biden plans to unveil a 6-point plan for fighting the latest surge of COVID cases. At the top of the list, getting more Americans vaccinated.
The president is not expected to issue any broad vaccine mandates, but maybe this is a little hint of the big picture that he's going to address today. The press secretary, when she was asked whether this address will have an immediate impact on Americans' lives, she says it depends if you are vaccinated or not.
ABC Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega. The federal government is taking a step to challenge the new abortion law in Texas, the most restrictive in the country. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
Much of this still being worked out this morning. The timing and the grounds still unclear. We are told that this could happen as early as today, and that one possible argument the Justice Department could reportedly make is that this interferes with federal interests.
8 months after the January 6 riots and 2 months after it was taken down, security fencing is being erected around the U.S. Capitol once again because of a rally planned for next weekend in support of those who were arrested the first time.
The heightened concerns come as the FBI released new video of the suspect wanted for planting potentially lethal pipe bombs at the DNC and RNC headquarters the night before the assault. A new camera angle shows the suspect calmly sitting on a bench outside the DNC. Authorities are in urgent need of new tips as the bomber was meticulous in concealing his or her identity, wearing a hood, mask, glasses, and gloves. This person is believed to be dangerous, and they're still out there.
That's ABC Chief Law and Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas. According to officials in Qatar, the Taliban will allow between 100 and 150 Americans to depart Kabul in the coming hours, the first commercial flight since August 31st. You're listening to ABC News.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom, a single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and the chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
The death toll from Hurricane Ida now up 82% in 8 states after more deaths in Louisiana were connected to the storm, and the remnants of Tropical Storm Mindy pushing across Florida and Georgia after making landfall on the Florida Panhandle last night. France will soon start offering free birth control to more young women. Right now, girls under 18 are eligible, but the French health minister says starting on New Year's Day, it will be available to women up to the age of 25. The search continues in Israel after 6 Palestinians escaped from a high-security prison. ABC's Jordana Miller has the latest from Jerusalem.
It's day 4 of the manhunt, and still no sign of the 6 Palestinian inmates who dug a tunnel and escaped from Israel's maximum security Gilboa prison Monday. Hundreds of police and soldiers now joining the search for the convicts, most members of the terror group Islamic Jihad. The brazen breakout also fueling riots at several other Israeli prisons, some inmates lighting their cells on fire. It's also led to violent clashes between Palestinians and Israeli forces in the West Bank and here in East Jerusalem. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
An early morning alarm on board the International Space Station. Smoke alarms going off and astronauts aboard smelling smoke and burning plastic. The crew looked around, couldn't find a source. Air filters were swapped out. Officials say the crew then went back to sleep. This is ABC News.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. A cold front is moving across the state today, and that's producing scattered to widespread showers and thunderstorms midday and through the afternoon. Highs today will be in the upper 70s and near 80. Those showers will come to an end this evening, and drier weather arrives overnight tonight. Cooler as well to start Friday morning with many of us in the 50s. Friday afternoon, we'll see a sunny sky, a beautiful day ahead with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Sunshine for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And the sun is shining on the just and the unjust. This morning's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we warmed up to 67 degrees on our way to a climb up to about 83, and gusting wind about 17 miles per hour. And the rain may be behind us, but don't be surprised if there's a little pop-up shower this afternoon. But basically, the rain and the storms are all behind us, and we're looking forward to a beautiful, beautiful weekend here in the foothills.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch Maltby.
Good morning, Jim. I heard you say it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I want to let you know it's beautiful where I am as well, but it's raining. It's raining cats and dogs. It's just pouring rain. I'm on Deweese Island, which is a barrier island, not too far from Charleston and Isle of Palms, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I think of the creation of God, what God did with our world. And Jim, you so often say it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day. It's a great getting up morning. And, the combination of God's beauty and the world that he made and a good attitude means that every day can be a breakthrough day for us, can it?
Absolutely. Every morning I can look out, even though it may be raining from time to time, there's still so many blessings and opportunities we can stop to thank God for.
Well, and you know what? And for you to be able to say that after you've emerged from the landfill of all the disastrous public policy that's being created up in Washington, D.C., it's like I feel sometimes, Jim, like you come down off the mountain, and the mountain is the mountain at a landfill. And you're wandering through the garbage of everything that's going on for the day, but you still emerge with pleasant words and pleasant thoughts. And you know what? We can get so stuck. The thing about My Great America with Jim and Butch is we always want to remember the miracles that are happening in the mundane. Nothing is insignificant to God. Nothing is mundane to God. And we have miracles all around us. Like, for example, I love to study history, and I used to read biographies when I was young. They had these short biographies that you could read. I was maybe in the 3rd, 4th grade, and I would stack them next to my bed, and I couldn't wait to get home. And in the evenings, I would read. As a matter of fact, I had a flashlight, and after I'd been told to go to bed, sometimes, and it wasn't right, I look back at it, it was sin, but because I was told, go to sleep, no more reading. But I would make a tent with my blankets over top of me, and I'd have my flashlight and my books, and I'd read until I fell asleep a lot of times. So I loved knowing the stories behind people. And you know what? You had a great guest just on, Virginia Fox, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I was just saying after the interview, I was telling Todd, I wish we had more Virginia Foxes in Congress in Washington. It'd be a whole lot different scene up there, I believe. She is a real fighter.
Exactly. And you see, like even her, the story behind the story, Jim, a lot of people don't know this. She was actually born in the Bronx, New York. But she was raised in Avery County. And what's interesting, see, the reason she's so tenacious and so heroic and she doesn't take guff from anybody is she grew up in a poor family. She first lived in a home with running water and electricity at age 14.
Yeah, she mentioned that. She grew up with no running water at all for a long time in her early life.
Right. And you know what else? She worked as a janitor at the school. And she was the first in her family to graduate from high school. See, we have so many. We are creating, Jim, and it is so delimiting to America's potential and future. We're creating a generation of people who feel they're entitled to their dreams without working for them. You know who else has an incredible story? And she was on the different side of the political aisle when being a Democrat meant something different. It was Shirley Chisholm. Do you remember her?
I do remember Shirley Chisholm, yes.
Yeah, she was an American politician. She was an educator. She was an author. In 1968, she became the first black woman elected to the United States Congress here in the United States of America. She represented the 12th congressional district. That's the Bedford-Stuyvesant one that's pretty intense these days. For 7 terms from 1969 to 1983. And here, because America is a land of opportunity, she became the first African-American candidate to run for a party's nomination for the President of the United States. You know what I loved that she said one time?
What's that?
She said, if you don't have a chair at the table of decision-making, bring a folding chair.
I like that.
Yeah. And so many people are saying, I can't. It just can't be done. You know, what can I do? I'm just too insignificant. And Jim, we've got to figure out a way, with God's help, to light a fire of motivation, a fire of purpose, and a fire of courage. And on the eve of 9/11, what better time for us to reinforce the heroic nature of America than right now? It's not a time to be passive, is it?
Where are the Shirley Chisholms of today? Where are they that's not stepping forward and becoming the leader that she became? And folks like Virginia Fox, where are those folks today?
Right.
Why are they not out there in the forefront?
Right, and that's why we've got to keep, Scripture is so filled with examples of heroes, people who heard God's voice, did God's will, and in the face of the impossible or the improbable, did exactly what God told them to do. And as a consequence, history was changed. How much courage did it take for young David with those 3 stones to run towards the roar of a giant, right? He knew he had God's authority and he wasn't afraid. And we as Americans, we as citizens of this great nation that's been cradled in a democracy that was penned at the hands of men who knew that God was the author of our country. I've had so many people say, well, Butch, you're a dominionist. You're somebody who believes in American exceptionalism. And you know what I say to them? I do.
Yes.
I do. We're shining light on the hill. Why? Because a darkness encroaches and God has expectations on this country. And on the eve of 9/11, Jim, let's remember some of those heroes. We don't hear a lot about this, but, Frank DiMartini and Pablo Ortiz, it's confirmed, saved at least 50 lives in the North Tower. Can I tell you about this real quickly?
I'd love to hear it, yes.
Okay, so Frank DiMartini was a construction worker, Jim. He was a manager. He worked for the Port Authority, and Pablo Ortiz, who was the son of an immigrant, was a Port Authority construction instructor. On 9/11, they were inside the North Tower when it was hit, but they survived. But instead of turning and going down the stairs and seeking safety, you know what they did? They began to help people trapped on the tower's 88th and 89th floors, way up there where the impact took place. Now, along with some of their co-workers, the 2 are thought to have saved at least 50 lives by opening stuck elevator doors, clearing offices, directing people to exits, and otherwise providing a lifeline amid all that destruction, dust, flames, and obstructions. They were likely, they believe, trying to come to the aid of additional people when the entire North Tower collapsed at 10:28 a.m. That's what a hero is. That's what a hero. Go ahead, Jim.
I said those are heroes. Those are the ones we really should be honoring, instead of the rap stars and the Bette Midlers and the Oprah Winfreys of the world. These guys are heroes.
It's like you want to stand up and say, who cares about some celebrity divorce in an environment where we have real heroes in the seemingly mundane things of life who are doing what? Who are acknowledging their creator, acknowledging personal responsibility, and in the face of all of it, making the world around them different. Here's some others. We've talked about this before. Flight 93, Todd Beamer, Mark Bingham, Tom Burnett, Jeremy Glick, they fought off their hijacker. And the heroes of that, Jim, were ones that we've come to know with great precision. United Airlines Flight 93 was the fourth plane that was hijacked that morning. The plane's departure from Newark Airport had been delayed until 8:41. The terrorist hijackers didn't seize control until about 9:30. Everybody thought everything was just fine. The timing meant that when passengers and crew phoned their loved ones, they learned of the other attacks. So in other words, they called from the airphone and learned there had been attacks. They understood the hijackers' intentions for their flight, and it appears that at least 4 passengers, Todd Beamer, Mark Bingham, Tom Burnett, and Jeremy Glick, decided to fight back and try to keep the plane they were on from becoming another destructive missile. Burnett told his wife, a flight attendant, from the airphone, "I know we're all going to die. There's 3 of us who are going to do something about it. I love you, honey." He hung up the phone. On the plane, flight attendant Sandra Branshaw boiled water. That became, along with cutlery and fire extinguishers, the weapons. A food cart was launched at the cockpit door. The terrorists, realizing the cockpit might be breached, crashed the plane in a field in Shanksville. They were approaching the speed of sound. The nose was straight to the ground, and at 10:03 a.m., it killed everyone on board. These heroic actions kept Flight 93 from reaching its intended target. The terrorists, many people believe, may have planned to strike the White House or the U.S. Capitol. An unknown number of innocent lives were spared. Jim, where is that courage in our country?
Where are the heroes? Another man, his name will not come to me right now, but he's the captain that landed the airplane in the harbor of New York City when it was about to crash. He kept his cool head and landed that airplane right in the harbor and saved the lives of all those people on board. I can't think of his name.
Right, and that is so good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember as well. It was a U.S. air flight.
Yes.
And I'm seeing the picture of the man. You know what's so interesting, too, about that story is that in the simulators, the plane simulators, they had seasoned pilots over and over and over and over try it again. And technically, what they were saying is that it was impossible. The hand of God was on him. No question. And, you know, Jim, you and I try to make a clarion call as consistently as we can to our county. Let's be heroes. And you know what? Being a hero doesn't have to be grandiose or make the front page of a newspaper. Being a hero is being that single mom who's got 3 children and doing what? Doing what? Getting them to school, reinforcing the values of character education. Being a hero is that widow who refuses to roll over and say my life is over because my life partner died, but instead is volunteering at a local community center. Being a hero, those groups of people who say on a Sunday afternoon, hey, you know what? There are people in assisted living centers that don't have anybody in their family and they're lost and they're lonely. Let's go see them. Being a hero is the young person at Food Lion here locally who sees an elder that's struggling with their load of groceries and runs over and says, may I help you? It's the little practical things that are spotlights into the character of all of us. Don't you believe, Jim?
And many of those things we can do if we just stop and think about it. Hey, I believe I can help that person. That person looks like they might be struggling with that bag of groceries. We just don't think about it. We're all got our face on a Facebook, telephone, or we rushing to the next appointment, and we don't stop long enough to think about, hey, you know, part of my life, reason for being here is helping people along the way. Others, Lord, yes, others. They can be their light.
And it's so true. And, you know, as you say that, Jim, others, I'm reminded when the Salvation Army was founded, it was founded over in England. You know, it's one of the largest charities and most respected charities in the world. There are 160 countries around the world. It was founded in London, ostensibly to deal with a lot of the alcoholics and prostitutes. General William Booth founded them, and they had a staff that was starting to emerge around the world, and they had one of their first major gatherings of their leadership, and they wanted, this was before the turn of the century, they wanted to determine what will our mission be going forward? What will the mission of the Salvation Army be? And so they went into closed session, not unlike their version of when the cardinals get together to pick a new pope and the smoke comes out of the chimney, they went into their closed session to determine what will the mission statement of the Salvation Army be going forward. And when they emerged, they sent out a telegram to their leadership in countries around the world. And Jim, that telegram had only one word on it. You know what the word was? The word was
others.
Others. Others. That was the mission of the Salvation Army. General William Booth, along with Catherine, his wife, who understood the travails and the challenges of addicted people, broken people, wandering people, you know, with all of the language that could have been used, and if they had hired a consultant like my company used to have, they probably would have emerged with a 50-page report, Jim.
Yes.
But they didn't. It was the word others. And you know what? Long before the Salvation Army, there was a Messiah, Jesus, the Son of the living God, who through the inspired word of God had mortal men whose hearts were inflamed by his gospel, the transforming truth of his gospel, had others pen that there's no greater love in the Gospel of John than to lay down your life for your friends. We live in a culture that is so consumed by self-aggrandizement, self-focus, self-help programs, when the God of the universe, who through his son Jesus has made it very clear, we're to lay down our lives for our friends.
And I couldn't help but think a moment ago when you were talking about heroes and how the age factors of different people. And we're talking about Virginia Falk. Now, she is not what we would consider to be a young woman anymore, but she's still up there fighting. In the Bible, God used young boys like young Joseph and old people like Moses. So he did not differentiate and say, well, you're too young or you're too old. You have something, you have a talent that I can use, so let's get busy doing it. So young David, a very young man, did what he did with the giant, and Moses, of course, led the children out of Israel. He was an old man at that point. So age doesn't matter if a heart's in the right place.
That is so true. And you know what? The story of Scripture is the story of God giving a word or a message to the prophets and common people. And in the face of a culture that was moving in one direction, God said, no, I want you to be on a different path. You know, in Scripture where it says, broad is the road that leads to destruction, and narrow is the way, and few there be that find it. God was never interested, nor was Jesus, his holy and only son, in some popularity contest. Jesus wasn't running ahead to Caesarea asking the pollsters to determine what kinds of things they wanted to hear him preach about or teach about. And we live in we have got to get to the place, I was saying this yesterday, you know, with tears to somebody, we've got to get to the place where we do not care what anybody thinks about us. If we are emboldened by the power of truth God has given us, that's all that we need. It's all that we need. And, you know, Jim, we've got lots of heroes here locally, and I want to give a quick reminder. You know, I met Dawn Gentry. She was there at the Republican Party meeting here recently at Kiwanis Park. Beautiful park, by the way. And Dawn, let me tell you a little bit about Dawn. So Dawn is an RN, and she's a BSN. She graduated from Barry University in 1994. She's got a bachelor's in science and nursing. She told me that when she was in nursing school, she was asked to oversee the skills lab at night and assist fellow nursing students with their clinical skills. She said, Butch, I've worked in almost all aspects of nursing, from delivering babies to hospice. In recent years, she told me, I've dedicated myself to long-term care. She's local, by the way, in order to care for our elderly population. She's got a real tender heart for the elders. She's currently an infection control nurse and director of nursing at a continual care retirement community. She serves independent living, assisted living, and skilled nursing. And she told me, Butch, I've been blessed to participate in almost all aspects of nursing, and as of most recently, been on the front lines of COVID since the start. Now, she said, while during multiple CDC, Project Echo, and CMS calls, she said, Butch, I've attempted to bring to their attention that natural antibodies and rates of viral load and transmission with vaccinated patients and residents, medical and religious exemptions, the right to choose, but all of that's been to no avail. She said now CMS is following through with President Biden's executive order to mandate the COVID vaccine on all healthcare workers, starting with long-term care. She said our healthcare staffing is already at a critical level. Many healthcare workers are leaving due to COVID burnout. And she said, Butch, if this rule is passed by CMS without religious or medical exemption or the right to refuse, we're going to lose more healthcare workers. That's going to cripple the healthcare industry for many years to come. Nursing homes and hospitals are going to close or only have partial schedules due to staffing. That's going to put an increased workload on surrounding hospitals. Wait times are going to increase. Surgeries will be postponed. Traumas will be rerouted. Urgent cares will be overrun. So this common, quote-unquote, citizen, Dawn, said it's imperative that we stand together. So it's her right as an American to mobilize people. She said healthcare is only the beginning. Is this still a democracy? We need to stop here. We need to stop it now. So this common local citizen trying to do healthcare said no. So she created an event. It's this Saturday, Stand for Freedom, on September 11th, 2021, from 10 to 12 at the Rutherford County Courthouse. That's what America's all about. You can, if you see something, you can seize it, right, Jim, and run up the hill.
Absolutely, make it happen. If I may, other folks who are heroes to me, and those are the men and women who put on that uniform every day, put a badge on their chest and a gun on their side.
Yes.
And they walk out and drive out around the country and protect us. And those undercover folks, you never see them in uniform, but they're doing a lot of dangerous undercover work that's very, very dangerous. They're heroes as well. As long as our firemen and firewomen, they put on the uniform and go to those fires and rescue people out of dangerous situations, those are the local heroes. Those are the folks I admire and respect.
No question, Jim. And there's also an event this Saturday in Forest City. You can learn more about that if you need to by calling the station. And, the thing, Jim, that has happened, it says in Scripture in Romans 1 that there came a place where people exchanged the truth for a lie. I grew up with tremendous respect bordering on a holy kind of fear and awe of people in uniform. My father was in the Air Force. My mother was the one who, I still remember she had a Coke bottle that had a tin top sprinkler on it. And she was the one that was putting starch on my dad's uniforms, those blue Air Force uniforms. And he walked out the door looking sharp and spiffy and full of authority. I grew up in an environment in the 50s, 60s, and beyond where people in uniform, life-giving engineers, if you will, in life that were helping make it safe, make it organized. They were people who were respected, but we've created a culture where people feel like they can just assassinate authority.
You're absolutely right, and we have a tendency to fall asleep when we see those kind of things and hear those kind of things, and we get so involved in the secular things around us and all the negative news that's out there and all the Facebook propaganda and the untruths and negative news that's out there, and we lose contact with those folks that are really saving our lives every day.
Absolutely. And, Jim, as we come to the end of the program and against the backdrop of all the things we know that aren't right in our government and our country, let's make sure we fan the flames of hope that the future can be different with God's help. And let's remember, God is still on the throne. And I was reading this morning, and we'll end with this. I was reading in Psalm 50, and I was wishing that we could stand before every congressperson and every senator and read the words of the living God. Starting in verse 16, and we'll end with this. But to the wicked, God says, what right have you to recite my statutes or to take my covenant on your lips? For you hate instruction and discipline and cast my words behind you, discarding them. When you see a thief, you are pleased with him and condone his behavior, and you associate with adulterers. You give your mouth to evil and your tongue frames deceit. You sit and speak against your brother. You slander your own mother's son. These things you have done, and I kept silent. You thought that I was just like you. Now I will reprimand and denounce you and state the case in order before your eyes. Don't ever forget whatever is happening on the front page of the newspaper or your social media feed. God is on the throne, and he will always have the last word.
Amen. God bless America.
God bless America, Jim. See you soon.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.